Okay, hi, this will be a quick tutorial on how to create an animated character very quickly. There's three pieces of software you're going to need. You're going to need Blender, which you can find at blender.org. You will need MakeHuman, which you can find at makehuman.org. And for your different animations, you need to go to the University of Ohio. Actually, I'll put a link in the description. This is the address you want to go to, and if you scroll down, you'll see they have BVH files. You want to download these. Okay, now once you have all that running, the first thing you want to do is you want to go into your MakeHuman folder, and you'll see a folder there called Blender Tools. Open that up, and you'll see a folder called Make Walk. You want to copy this, so hit Control-C on your keyboard, copy this, and then you want to go into your Blender folder, which is in your program files, Blender Foundation, and then go into your scripts, and then the add-ons, and then you want to paste that folder in here. I have it pasted right here. Okay, now once you have that, you should be ready. Now we will go into MakeHuman, and when you first open up MakeHuman, you'll just have a generic character here. If you grab the slider, you can make him male. If you slide it this way, you'll make him female, or it female. You can tweak all of the settings. So now we'll go over to the next tab, Geometries. Make sure this is checked, hide faces under clothes, and we will add a pair of shoes, a pair of shorts, and a Blender shirt. There we go. Okay, now we'll go to eyes. You want the high poly eyes. The hair, we'll give her shoulder length. The teeth, just the basic. We're not going to add genitals. We're not going to add a topology. The eyebrows, we'll add, we'll go with these ones. The eyelashes, we'll go with these ones. And the tongue, we'll add a tongue. Okay, now you can't see everything right now. And moving in here it's kind of backwards to what you're used to. Blender is a little different, so how you navigate around here is a little different. But once we have all the objects put in place there, we'll go over to materials. Now for the skin, we'll use young Caucasian female, and then they have the sweaty version, the next one down. We'll just use that one. For the hair, we'll leave the hair black. For the eyes, we'll use blue. And the eyebrows, these settings don't have any materials that you can change. The shirt, you can change the material for the MakeHuman, or we'll just leave it on the Blender. The shorts, you have different types. White shorts, the black leather shorts, or black satin shorts, and the shoes, you got tennis shoes. We'll go with the blue shoes. You can pose. What I use is the human IK. You want to turn that on. And rendering settings, we don't need any of that. So we're pretty much all set right here. We'll go back to Files, we will save. We'll call this Model 1, and you hit these three dots right here to bring up the save dialog, and we will go to the desktop and the tutorial folder, and we will save it there. So now that we save it, if we want to make any changes later, it'll be real easy to make changes. And if you open up your tutorial folder, now you'll see you have a thumbnail and the Model 1 MakeHuman. Okay, now we want to export, so we'll click Export, and we're going to select Blender Exchange Format, and then over here make sure feet on the ground, and change the scale units from decameter to meters, and we'll call this just model or tutorial. And once again, you click these three dots right here to bring up the save dialog. And we'll select the desktop and tutorial, open, and we're going to save it in the Blender Exchange format. It just takes a second. Okay, so we're all done with the MakeHuman for right now. And you can close this out. And if you open up your tutorial folder, now you have textures in there. Close this out. And here's our model in the MHX MakeHuman Exchange. Actually, before we leave, if you downloaded all the BVH files, let's see, where did I put them? There we go. We'll just copy, and we'll just paste those in here as well, just so they're in the same folder. There's your BVH files. Okay. Now we'll open up Blender. We're using 2.72. And you want to go to File, User Preferences, and just type Make. And then these two should show up, the Blender Exchange format, and the Make Walk is that folder that you dragged into your add-ons folder. Just make sure these two are checked. So we'll start off, we will delete the cube. Whoops, I suppose I should turn on the screencast keys. There we go. And first thing I'll do is just pull the lamp out in front, and we'll change the lamp to a sun lamp, and we'll rotate it along the Z-axis, and that looks pretty good. Okay, so we'll go to File, Import, and we'll go down to MakeHuman.mhx, and we will go to our tutorial folder, and we will select the tutorial model, and go to front view, zoom in a little bit. Okay, now the one thing you're going to notice, well, the two things you should notice is if I just go to the first layer, you'll see the body has masks on it, and you will notice the second layer has the armature. Let's move that down one. Oops. mode. Sorry about that. Let's move that down a layer. And let's go to the second layer and we'll select all, and we'll move that to the first layer just so we can see what's happening. If you look, you will notice the mesh is a little broken around where the shorts meet. It's not too bad up here. You won't notice as much up here. It's doing it up here as well by the sleeves. But that one you don't need to worry about. And the way I figured this out was if you right click on the shorts, and if you go to your modifiers tab, if you right click on the body and go to the modifiers tab, and let's expand this so you can see. You see there's masks applied to the body, the shoes, the shorts, and that's just so the body mesh doesn't poke through. But I found it was okay to turn it off in rendering and in the viewport. If you run into problems, you can solve that pretty easy later. But now the mesh isn't broken around the body. Okay, so now it's time to change the layout. We're going to change the layout a little bit, and we're going to do that by in the upper right hand corner here. We'll pull this over, and we don't need the toolbar in here, so we'll press T to get rid of the toolbar. And we're going to go up to this corner and we'll pull down just a little bit. And now we're going to switch to Cycles Render up here. And over here we'll change this layer. We'll change this to rendered view. And we'll zoom in a little bit. Okay, and in this view here, we're going to change this to the node editor. And you can press N to get rid of the toolbar on this side. Now up here I use for navigation. Over here, as you can see, the results. So the first thing we'll do, we'll click on the body, and if we go over to the materials tab, let's open this up a little more. There we go. Whoops, that's the tongue. There we go. And we're on the skin, and we're going to click Use Nodes. And under the color, right next to the color, under surface, right next to the color, there's a little dot. We're going to press that, and we're going to go to Image Texture. And she goes purple by default. Let's zoom in on the nodes. And we'll click Open to open our image texture. And we'll go to our tutorial folder. And under Textures, this is the folder that was added from MakeHuman. We'll go down to Young Light Skinned Female. We'll open that up. Now we see it's applied over here. And something I like to do over here, if you go down to Settings, let's grab this and move this. Move this up a little bit. Under Viewport Color, you just click the eyedropper, and then I'll just go click on her skin, just so I can use this as a bookmarker to keep track of where I am, what I have colored, what I have left to color. Okay, so the next one we're going to do, we'll do the hair. Actually, let's do the eyelashes first. This will give you the effect right away. If I click on the eyelashes, and you can see them highlighted here now, and it says over here eyelashes, we're going to click use nodes, and next to color, the dot right here, we're going to say image texture, and they go purple by default. And then we'll click open to open the image texture. We'll go into our textures, and we need to find eyelashes. There we go, eyelashes. We'll open the image, and that's what you see so far. Not the greatest results, but that's okay. At least we know that it is there. Whoops, a little too close with the camera. Actually, we're going to go to perspective view. There we go, so we can really zoom in. This way you can see the full effect. Now what we're going to do is, in our node editor over here, you can close this up a little bit, and we need to move some things around. Just to make a little room. Okay, we're gonna hit Shift A, and we're going to add a shader. We're going to add an add shader, and we're going to hit Shift A, and we're going to add a shader, a transparent shader, and we're going to hit Shift A, and under color we're going to add an invert. Okay, now we're going to move the add shader onto here, so that way the top of the diffuse is going into the top shader, which goes into the surface of the output. And over here, the alpha is going to go to the color. Let's move that up a little. The color coming out of the invert is going to go into the transparent. And then on the other side of the transparent, the BSDF, and if you watch over here when I connect these, the BSDF is going to go into the bottom part of the add shader. And there we go. Now the alpha is viewable and the eyelashes look correct. So we're going to reuse this configuration here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press A to deselect all. I'll press A again, and then I'll hold Control C, and we're going to copy this node set up here. And we're done with the eyelashes. Oh, I suppose I should go back. And the viewport color, click the eyedropper, and I just click somewhere on the skin because they don't show up well when you try to make them eyelash color in the viewport. Okay, so next we're going to right click on the eyebrows, and once again we're going to hit use nodes. Now this time we're just going to delete these. We'll press X to delete these nodes, and we'll hit Control V to paste the setup that we had before. And the only thing we're going to change, I'm going to zoom in over here. The only thing we're going to change now is where this number 4 is. We're going to click that to make this its own color, and we'll click the folder. Instead of eyelashes, we're going to go to our textures folder again, and we're going to select eyebrow. We'll open that image, and then you'll see the eyebrows look correctly now. And just for my own sanity, now the viewport tells me what I have next to do, and we'll right click on the hair and we'll say new use nodes, and we'll press X to delete those nodes, and we'll hit Control V to paste in our node setup, and we'll press the number 4 to make this its own node. And instead of the eyelashes, we're going to click the folder here, and we diffuse black, you could probably rename that to hair, but it gets named by default diffuse black. So now her hair color is all set. I'll zoom out a little so you can see the hair. And now we have to do the eyes. Well, for the viewport, let's color the hair. Maybe just pull this down a little so we know it's colored. Okay, now we'll click on the eyes. Oops, we got the eyelashes. Oops, wrong key. There we go. Suppose I should turn the screencast keys off about right now. But we're going to select the eyes, the high poly eyes, and we're going to do the same thing, use nodes. We'll press X to delete those nodes, Control V to paste in our node group here. Just make this a little bigger, and we'll press the 4, and then we'll open, and we will go to blue eye in our textures folder, and now the blue eye shows up. And in the viewport, I just usually turn it, I don't want her to look like a zombie, but the blue eyes, you won't see them anyway, so I just turn this down a little bit. Maybe give it a little bit of a blue. Okay. Now we're not done quite yet with the head portion. We still have the teeth and the tongue. So what you can do is right click on the body here and just hit H to hide it. Whoops. We'll try that again. There we go. Okay. Now, I suppose we'll start with the tongue. We'll right click on the tongue and use nodes. We'll X to delete, Control V, and make this a little bigger. And, oops. There we go. And we'll press the number 4 and open textures, and we want tongue diffuse, and there's our tongue color. And for the viewport, we don't need to be exact, just so we know it's colored. And then for the teeth, we'll right click on the teeth, basic teeth, and we'll click use nodes, X, and then Control V. Press 4, and then we will choose, let's see, is it teeth or basic teeth? Just teeth. Open that image, and now our teeth are colored. So in the viewport, I'll just give them another color just so we know they're colored. And now if we zoom out and we press Alt H to unhide everything. There we go. Now we can move down. We'll move to the shirt. We'll right click on the shirt, and we'll select Use Nodes. Press X, Control V, and instead of eyelashes, we'll press the number 4, open folder, and the t-shirt texture blue. There's also a normal map and a displacement map that come with it. So there's our t-shirt, and in the viewport we'll just change it to a bluish color. There we go. And then on the shorts we will say Use Nodes, X, and then Control V. We'll open this up, and we'll press the number 4, and we'll open, and the shorts black diffuse, and the shorts also have a normal map. So we'll open that, and that will give us our shorts, and in the viewport we'll just change it to a black color. There we go. And last but not least, the shoes. We'll right click on the shoes, and we'll say Use Nodes. We'll hit X, Control V, and we'll open this up. We'll hit the 4, open, and these are called shoes, blue. Open, and there's our shoes. Okay, so we're all set with the nodes. So we'll hold in this corner, we'll drag this up, and then in this corner we'll grab here and drag over, and now we have our model is all textured. And just for speed purposes, I'm going to switch to solid view. So, oops, I forgot to give the shoes a viewport color. Just give them a blue color as well. There we go. And now we have our model textured and colored, and our alphas are applied. So now, I suppose now would be a good time to save. Save. We'll save in our, and we will call this tutorial 1, and we'll save that as a Blender file. Okay. I suppose we should set the camera up now. So I'm going to press N, or let's go to orthograph, I'm perspective view, I'm sorry. We'll press N on the keypad, and up top here we have lock camera to view, and we'll press 0 to look through the camera, and we will rotate around until we get where we want. Whoop. There we go. Okay. That looks pretty good. And then we'll unlock the camera. Now, on your layer that we moved down here, we move the armature down to this layer. So we're going to right click on the armature, And make sure you're in object mode. I've had this happen a couple of times. If it goes into pose mode, this won't work. So make sure you're in object mode. And we're on tools right now, but if you go down here, you'll see MISC. If you click on MISC, you'll see Make Walk, Load and Retarget. So we'll click that, and in our folder we have that female_BVH that we downloaded. So you can pick one. Let's see. Run to pickup box. We'll open this one. So we'll click Load and Retarget. And now if you go to your layer 1, you'll see she's moved off the screen a little. That's okay. And you see the animation here lasts till about here or so. 64 frames. So we'll set our end to 64. And now if you press the play button, you will see she runs down and picks up a box. She runs over, picks up a box, and continues running off screen. So that's an animation. Let's move our camera. We'll move that to another layer, just so it's not in our way. And then you can pause your animation at any point. We'll look through the camera, and we'll lock the camera to view. And just unlock that. We'll just do a quick render, F12 to render. The lighting isn't set up correctly, but this isn't really a Blender tutorial, it's just something to get animations quickly. So we'll load a different one. We have to go to we have to go to layer 2. We're in object mode. We'll click on and it changed us to pose mode. We'll click on the armature, and we'll say load and retarget, and we'll try, let's see, what's another one. Oh, the cartwheel. There we go. We'll load and retarget the cartwheel. These take a minute to load. And let's make sure we're not locked to the camera. We're not. And this animation runs up till about frame 144 or so. So we'll just change our end point. So when we loop through it, we don't have to loop through a lot of blank space. And we'll go back to layer 1, and we'll press play. And as you can see, we have some tweaking to do on the mesh underneath. But that's easy enough to fix. And there you go. I hope this helps you make some more animations. Thanks for watching.